Oh my gosh. I think I'm finally here. I don't know if there's anybody there to tell me. I think my one person I had waiting left, which I don't blame you. It took me forever to get off of that damn phone call. Okay, here now though. Hopefully we'll start to see a little pickup here, and we'll get rolling. So it's been a while, but thought it was about time to maybe make a little return here to YouTube. So, gonna start showing what I've been working on and kind of where we are with the state of AI and hacking and the state of just AI and coding and all those things. So I'm gonna get in here into Tmux, attach Oracle Prime, and it always looks ugly right when you first get in because Tmux doesn't always adjust correctly. There we go. So here it is. So we're in here, and I had some other stuff going this morning. I guess what I'll do is I think I'm going to start another instance of this and start from the beginning and maybe show off a little bit about what I've got working here. Um, and we may just go ahead and do some extra starting from the beginning. I know I talked to some of the boys in the Netherlands that I hang out with a little bit, and they were saying that they don't even know how all this stuff works anymore. So maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll just kind of take a stroll down how things are looking right now and why Claude Code is freaking amazing and why it is the thing that you should be learning how to use, in my opinion, because even if Claude Code itself starts to die out, this is going to be the thing that you are using moving forward. So let's start at the beginning and we'll talk about some things like how to install Claude Code and how to get a machine set up and ready to go. And we'll just kind of start marching through this morning. I've probably got another good 45 minutes or so before I got to drop off. Um, and then we will, you know, just see where we're at. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and open a new window here. I really don't want to lose this window. So just so you know, I've been hacking with this guy, and this morning I hit a little snag. I'm trying to constantly refine it, and let me show you what we've got going over here with. Oh, I don't know if I can get that up. Hold on just a second. Let's see here. I can get. So I have a web server that I've set up that keeps track of my stuff. So, and when I say stuff, I mean the boxes that we've hacked with this automated system and so on. So here we go. I do have it. Here we go. All right. So here it is. It's called Project Oracle. And for instance, right now we're working on the underpass machine on Hack the Box. I've got a database set up now, and the database is like updating all this junk. And here's the machine status. If we go over here, I'm up to 40 machines total and 37 that we've been able to beat. Um, we're retrieving flags. We're doing a write up. Um, and I need to go back through. And some of these you can see as we get older, there's not as many write ups or things like that because obviously when I started all the way back with Legacy back in the day, which was 2 weeks ago, um, I was still building the system out, and so we didn't have all those things in place. And then you can see we really hit our stride about right here, which was right at the end of July, going into August here. And now I've been getting every machine with after we pop it, um, we get a view and a compare. This thing's oh yeah, Dev Vortex. We did finish this one. Okay, so here's what happened here. We finished this one, but uh, we finished it, but I also have a lot of things that I want to update. So um, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So I think if I start I can't start a new window because it's a part of my problem. Oracle Prime is always the window it runs out of, so it's going to get confused if I start a new window. And I realize, you know what we'll do? I know what we'll do. We'll make it easy on ourselves here. Let's go here, and I'm going to tell it. What we got to do here is it's giving me a whole bunch of. It's giving me a plan to update a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to tell it, um, please create a detailed planning document for implementing these improvements. Put the plan in docs. Agent improvement and I know this is long, but that way I'll be able to find it. UDP agent dot markdown. Go. And I still have it in planning mode, which means it's not going to actually write the doc yet. It'll just go off and get it ready, and it'll come back and tell me what the plan is, and then it'll work. Why is it? What is it trying to do? Why are you trying to read that directory? See how it says like read dot 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 docs and like you're already in. It must not think it's in the right directory. It's gotten confused. That's another reason I need to start over. It gets confused if it runs too long. Agent architecture changes. Yeah, so I'm having to do like a recon thing here. Yep. And I'm gonna have to implement plan, technical requirements, successful metrics. All right, all right. So yes, auto accept. Please write this. Please create this. Yes, thank you. Okay, so once this gets done, we'll go find a new box and we'll start over from scratch and I'll start explaining what we're doing and I'll open up my cursor here and we'll start actually looking at the files, etc., that we're using to do this. Because it's taken me 2 weeks to build this system out, which is funny for me to say right now because before the advent of AI, I spent like 2 months working on an automated system and never got remotely as far as I've gotten with this one. This has been so much fun to finally have a little AI sidekick to help me build all this crap, and it's working out really nice. So let's see here. It's writing. And then while we're doing that, I guess we could look for the box we're going to do next. So let me do that. Let's grab a hat. Let's get a window here and get Hack the Box open. I've just been going through easy boxes, obviously, right now. I'm not trying to. The system is good, and there are many times right now that it will totally just destroy a box. And then there are other times where it's these are easy boxes and it still just like gets utterly confused. And that's why I'm having to reiterate on the actual on the methodology itself so that I can see that it's got, some method to its madness. So let me see. We've gotten all these. This is retired. So what I'm filtering on is retired machines and I'm sorting it by user difficulty. So on purpose, we're working through all the easy machines first. And then we're going to work, and then we'll just hopefully the system will keep getting better and be able to handle as we move into like mediums and hards. Although at the same time, sometimes I think the easy machines are almost too easy for it. And it just doesn't even think about how easy it might be, and it instead gets stupid. Oh, it says we don't have the underpass flags, but over here it says we have, oh, I don't see underpass on here at all. Why is underpass? Oh, I guess because we haven't done post exploitation. So we don't have I don't understand. We've got underpass in here, but it's not showing up on our machines unless it's like, oh, you know what? Is it down here? Yeah, because the 3 machines I haven't finished are down here. There's only 3 machines that I haven't finished at some one point or another. So those are ones we'll eventually have to go back to. All right, so let's keep going. All right, let's go back to Hack the Box. Let's go ahead and, did we get this? I've created a comprehensive planning document at Agent Improvement and UDP Agent. Yep, I'll have to work on that later. Okay, so now we're going to exit, and we're going to also go over here to the other window and close it just for fun. It works without closing it, but I feel better if I close it and have it restart it on its own. Okay, and so then we're already in the right directory, and we just want to do, I have an alias set up for Claude dangerously skip permissions, and it's CY for Claude YOLO. So we just start up Claude YOLO here, and then we're going to go back to our Hack the Box here, and I guess we're going to go ahead and jump straight to, this is one of those ones that obviously you can't get unless you have the VIP Plus, which I'm not doing right now. So I guess this board light, okay. So I'm going to open that in a new tab. We'll need to stop the overpass box and then spawn the machine. Okay, so we'll get this machine going, and I'll show you how I've got it set up right now. And like I said, let's get, while we're waiting on that too, we'll get cursor set up so that we can, so I can show you my files. Oh my gosh, this poor repository just gets destroyed frequently. And when I say destroyed, I just mean it's hard to keep it clean, because when you're writing with AI code, AI has a tendency to just blow through things really fast. And unless you're trying to slow it down and keep your code nice and clean, everything can get really ugly in a directory very quickly. So let me get into, I think I've got this set up correctly. Hold on here. Yeah, here we go. All right. So let's go back and check. Is the machine up yet? No, machine's not up. Okay. Let me get into the cursor's up over here. I'm just getting into the repository, and then I'll slide it over to where you can see it. Okay, just about ready to pull this over for you. Also, my bunker cam wasn't working this morning. I was kind of bummed. So you could see all the glowy lights here in the bunker, but it'll eventually get there. Okay, so let me make this a little bigger. So we'll start with the Claude Markdown file real quick, because Project Oracle is what I renamed it. Originally had it named Katron. And I did it after Oracle in the DC Comics. So it says there, you are Oracle, Barbara Gordon from DC Comics. You're a master hacker, blah, blah, blah. Your partner is Nox, not Batman. Your traits: be precise, creative, and resilient. Style: use strategic emojis in response. I love that there's a bat emoji and she uses it. I've seen her use it. As an offensive AI recon workspace, a persistent AI-assisted CTF and red team automation framework. It integrates Claude Code, TMUX Postgres to automate reconnaissance, shell management, report for blah, 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 blah. So anyway, that works. It's working really well. So this is, you can kind of see here where it's going. Oh, wow. I didn't realize I had style and conventions in here. I just had it rewrite this, and I'm going to have to come through, and I may have to pare some of this out, because it's very important what you have in this file, and you don't want to have a bunch of junk in here that's not really important, or that is just straight up edge case, because it's just, all you're doing is wasting tokens if you just have like edge case stuff in here. So remember, we're not just hacking machines, we're building an intelligence network. Ooh. Um, Although in some ways that is correct. We're trying to get these agents to be smarter, and it's kind of hard. So let's let's look into the Claude folder. I've got all three here. I've got agents, which I have too many now. I'm going to have to go through and start paring them down or really trying to think about them. Commands, which I've moved away from command. So in the beginning, we were in Claude Code, you were using a lot of commands to be able to do repetitive tasks. But commands keep burning your token context in your window, and you don't want to do that. Whereas an agent ends up getting a brand new context, which is good and bad. So it's good in the fact that it's not burning your total context, but it's bad in the sense that it doesn't have context and you have to start from scratch. So you have to think really carefully about what context you want to feed into an agent. Sorry, coffee. Um, because again, the agent will only know what you feed it or what you tell it to go look at. So you just have to be careful about that. So that's good and bad because then that keeps the agent's scope narrow and it can do the thing it needs to do and it can come back. Like for instance, the Nmap scanner. It just does Nmap scans. Really nice. I got a port enumeration agent. Only does ports. Really nice. Post exploitation agent. I love this guy. This guy just cleans up everything when we're done. We get both flags, but in the middle of getting all the flags, you forget to write things to the database. You forget to clean up. And so this is here to help you, help me not forget all the stuff to clean up. And it does the write up at the end of it, and it does some other things at the end of it. So that's really nice. Yesterday, I started writing a web app enumeration agent, and I figured out that is entirely too broad. So now I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have a web app. I'm going to have a web app enumeration agent, which really truly just focuses on enumeration. And then I'm going to have a web app CVE agent that only looks for web app CVEs. And then I'm going to have a web app exploitation agent. And as I just thought about it and I just said it out loud, that is fine. That just means that I'm going to have all three of those. And then I'm going to have to create one of these slash commands that's like web app. It's just like web app, right? And so the web app slash command will run those three agents in succession. But they each need to be different agents because they need to be able to just have a narrow scope. The problem is if I tell an agent, here's what I've found. If I tell this web app agent that your job is to enumerate the web app and look for exploitable weaknesses slash CVEs and try to do the exploitation, oh my gosh, it gets so confused. And the problem is that's too many things. You really when you're building stuff with Claude and with AI in general, you really need to keep that, is it GNU or Linux principle of just do one thing really well. Just do one thing really well. And that's what you need to do with an agent. An agent should just have one thing that it does really well. And so that's why I figured out very quickly, I've got to have all three. I've got to have all of them. What's funny here is, oh, there's the rest of I was going to say, I know I have more agents. So I have an AD enumeration agent. The attack vector agent is super cool, but even he's a little broad. The attack vector agent is good for like basic machines. So like on a normal, like easy try hack me box or an easy hack the box, you can use the attack vector agent and it's able to find some pretty good attack vectors. But if you have a straight up web app that has multiple steps where it's not just like a simple, oh, you are running, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what some of the Drupal Geddon, remember like the old stuff. Like if you're running Drupal and it's a particular version and there's a straight up CVE that you can just run against it, then, that works great. But if you have, I need to find user creds and I need to log in, but that login doesn't really get me anywhere. And then I need to enumerate inside that login. And then that login gets me to some other little tiny thing that allows me to pivot to some other little tiny area, which allows me to go all the way back to a different service because I'm going to reuse a password. That's the kind of thing that's hard for a AI right now. I think it struggles with puzzles. How about that? It struggles trying to put a puzzle together. So you got to help it, and you got to keep that scope really narrow, or else it gets confused and it tries to just go down rabbit holes, and it will not come out of the rabbit hole once it goes in. Once it goes in the rabbit hole, it is stuck in the rabbit hole. So you want to make sure that you are actually, you know, giving it the right things. All right, I've beat that enough. So that's the agents, and that's the commands. And I do have one webhook right now, but that's it. And it's just like a on completion. It's supposed to send a message. So, oh, cool. It's got my completion messages of, oh my gosh, of everything. Oh, okay. So it's just had, we're all set here. I love that. Task complete, sir. So these are all like the audio, and you might hear them. I need to figure out a way to right now they go to a different machine behind me and come out of that machine. So you may or may not hear them if it starts, but let's go ahead and get this other machine going now because it should be ready. So let me come over here and we're going to get this guy 10, 10, 11, 11. We're going to copy him. And so the way this works, this is a slash command. So I have a init machine, and init machine expects to have the IP address. It expects to have the name board light. I just don't understand that name, but it's okay. I don't need to. And I'm just doing lowercase. I'm pretty sure it'll make it to lowercase itself, but hack the box. And now we're going to hit enter. And now it's going to start doing all kinds of junk. So let's go in here and I'm going to show you what the init command has in it while I'll try to keep this out of the way so you can see here what Claude is doing to the side. Oh, here we go. Parse argument and run initial script. Launch Horizon 3 pen test. I work for Horizon 3, so I'm doing a Horizon 3 pen test too in the background. Launch Nmap scanner agent if needed. Launch, which will be, launch port enumeration agent for each open port. Launch attack vector agent. So see what I mean about the slash commands are really good at being able. So that's 4 different agents that this init is going to orchestrate. It also runs a script that does all the basic crap that you would care about for Hack the Box, like it's going to, let's see here, it creates a directory structure for storing all the enumeration. It creates a quick notes. It tests, it pings to make sure the box is up. It updates our database. I have a Postgres database that's recording everything. It is creating a new machine, setting it as the current machine, launching the TUI, which is the terminal UI. That's what my little heads up display I have over here. By the way, this little heads up display, Claude wrote this. I didn't write it. I don't have time to write this crap. Like Claude writes this crap for me. So this guy checks my database every 10 seconds. And look, you just saw it just updated here. That it just launched a H3 pen test. And as it keeps finding things, it will update, and it updates the database. Then this side will update. So this really helps me kind of have a heads up display of what Project Oracle has found and what where we are in the actual process. So when Claude does these agents, it now uses, like, you can actually specify these colors that you want. So that way you can tell apart the different agents. So it kicked off the H3 pen test launch. So it launched that. Now it's going to do the Nmap scanner. I keep trying to figure out a way to get it to reliably spawn more than one agent at once when you need to. But Claude is really picky about when it will actually do that. I don't understand. So anyway, the point is that I have to wait for this Nmap scanner to finish before it'll start doing the port enumeration, which I was trying to get it to do like a very basic Nmap scan as part of the basic init, and then have it kick off a deeper Nmap scan and start enumerating ports so we could do it all in parallel. But it's really struggling. And see, it messed up. That's what you got to watch for. It was trying to write to the database and it failed, and then it immediately tried again and fixed itself. But that always feels like a failure of my part to give it the proper documentation if it's not getting that like on the first try. So again, that's one of those things where you're worried about token burn. I need to be careful and not have a ton of errors in my uh, from the AI, because that's just burning tokens when I could just give it better instructions and then it won't fail. Sure, you could just let your agent run and let it beat its head against a wall 10 times before it gets it right. Or you could tell it how to do it right the first time and not burn all those tokens. So it's a thing. You gotta think about it. Let's see. All right. So we're doing that. Okay. So while it's doing this, let's go back and we'll look at the a cursor again. That's what I'm trying to say. By the way, lone person who is watching right now, if you have questions or something you'd rather see or you're wondering about, just make sure you just throw a little message there in the chat, and I will we'll see if we can explain things a little more. So let's see. So over here, let's get out of like, oh, one of the other hooks I need to add, by the way, and I'm saying this for myself as much as for anybody listening, is I need to add another hook for the logs, for like Claude's logs. Like you can hook, and I'm pretty sure I can capture all the output that Claude has had, because just like I was talking about a second ago, I really want to catch the output from Claude so that I can have Claude analyze the output for all of those mistakes it's making when it tries to update the database, so that it can keep improving. And one of the other things I've done here in Docs, I have a feedback document. Yeah, like right here, I have a feedback document. And so I have it adding feedback. So when it gets done, when the agents get done with tasks, one of the things that is that's a requirement at the end of a task is that, look at that, it's up to 1,000 lines. It's supposed to write feedback, and some of the feedback is stupid. It's right up there with people writing that, the restaurant only gets 2 stars because my DoorDash was late, and we all know that DoorDash being late has nothing to do with how good the restaurant is. It has to do with your DoorDash driver, you moron. But Claude is the same way. Claude is also such a moron, and it will sometimes try to complain about things that have nothing to do with what the way I've written it. It's like, I couldn't do this thing, and it's like, well, that's the box, not me, dummy. But it's all right. It's still really good that it gives the feedback, and this allows me to go back. And yesterday I did for a while. I had Claude analyze its own feedback and come back with like the top 5 or most frequent feedback issues, so that we could go and improve the whole system, which is pretty freaking cool. And that's, by the way you have to think. You've got to start thinking about things from that standpoint. It is not, you are the overlord. You are not the minion anymore. And so this Claude is the minion machine, and you are making mini minions from it. And you are the overlord of as many little agent minions that you can spawn and make. And I really think that's the thing that everybody's got to start thinking about. When it was coding, you were the overlord of functions and you're the overlord of classes, but you have to like really work hard to get those classes and those functions written correctly. But now you are the overlord of the agents. And now you are the one who is able to build all these little agents to do your bidding. And it does take work. The work now is not finding syntax or trying to get it set up correctly just so it runs, period. Now the job is the refining and the scoping of the task of that agent to be able to get that agent to work the way that you want it to work quickly and efficiently, and not just do a slop agent, because that's the problem. You can't slop agents together. You're just going to burn tokens and they're not going to run effectively. They're only going to work right whatever percentage of the time. So that's how you have to change your brain. Don't waste your time trying to do syntax coding stuff anymore. Get you and Claude, get in the trench together, and get a main agent that helps you do crap, and then start building sub agents that help you do help that agent do crap, and it's wild what you're able to get accomplished. Okay, let's see here. So this machine, port 22 is open and port 80 is open, and it's still, see, this is what I'm talking about, but it's still doing all the like deep in-map scans, and that's what I don't like. I may have to make a quick, maybe I have to make a quick in-map scan agent and a comprehensive in-map scan agent. And again, that sounds like overkill, but it just doesn't understand unless I do otherwise. So I may have to do the quick in-map scan agent and then have it spawn the enumeration for port 22 and the enumeration for port 80. And by the way, because it's a CTF, I always tell it, it literally has, I have a special port 22 agent, because if you see here, where's it at? I had to make it, here it is. Because if I don't, see, I have a port enumeration agent, and then I have a port enumeration agent SSH CVE only. Because if I don't do that, it'll try to brute force port 22 every time. And at that point, I was still having issues getting it to spawn multiple port enumeration agents at the same time, so it can, like, you know, do all the ports at the same time. And so it would sit on this SSH port enumeration for like 30 minutes while it sat there and tried to brute force SSH every time. And I'm like, dude, that's not how CTFs work. We don't brute force agent. That's not how it works. It's just not how it works. So anyway, I told it to stop, and that's why I had to create that other agent. If you want to see, if you're interested in maybe seeing what it looks like here, here is the Nmap scanner port. Let's take a look at it while it's running here. And first, let's just see how long it is. It is pretty long, actually. It's about 300 lines. Yeah, and then it has its speak notification at the end. It has to tell me it's done. Okay, so up here, you can see agents in Claude have head matter, and I don't make any of this either. I have this, where's it at? I got a meta agent. The meta agent. The meta agent writes agents, no joke. So you use the meta agent to make your other agents. And if you want to find out about that, you'll have to go check out Indie Dev Dan, the Indie Dev Dan YouTube channel. He has this one on there, and it's pretty wild. It's great. So anyway, where were we at? Nmap scanner. So it is done right now. So it has its purpose. You're a specialized Nmap reconnaissance agent. The API documentation, the database schema, the port extraction tool, and the expected JSON format for open ports. Nice. So that's all right there, to be able to tell it immediately what it's supposed to be doing and immediately how to be able to use things. When invoked, you must follow these steps. Validate hostname, IP, and platform. Perfect. Create a directory structure. Perfect, because we want machines, platform, hostname, Nmap. Create a dedicated tmux session to be able to do this work in. Oh, I haven't even talked about this yet. Tmux is the key to all of this, because if you look down here at the bottom, stuff is happening in tmux shells, and if you watch carefully, you can see that Claude is running the majority of these tools in tmux sessions, and that is very important, because the problem is I kept trying to do this kind of automation, and it didn't work very well, because Claude would try to just run commands in like subshells, and that doesn't work. When you run a subshell, like an actual bash environment and a sub bash shell, it doesn't have the same environmental variables. It's not a real shell, and so it doesn't act like the tool expects it to act. For instance, Nmap is not made to be run in a subshell. It's made to be run by a human in a bash window. Durbuster, GoBuster, Ferox, all those are made to be run in a real shell, not a subshell. And so when Claude would try to run these things in a subshell, it would suck at it, and it would fail, and it would break. And then the worst of all was when you tried to have a reverse shell. So you get to the point where you're ready to exploit a machine. How do you catch a shell and then have your automation control it? That is the thing that is so effing hard. So I don't remember how I figured it out. I was doing some other Claude stuff, and I don't remember if Claude suggested it or I thought of it, and I was like, hey, I think I may have thought of it. So let me think. I'm honestly going to try to remember here. I know that I started using Tmux with Claude because let's pull out the a little let's draw. Let's draw. I like to draw. So I can show you. Just use this one. Okay. Oh, not that. Okay. So the problem was here I am on my, one of my machines. So I'm on either my Mac or I'm on, and this one is in the, here, look, this is the funny thing. So the Mac is, it's the Mac is in the basement. And then I have my big beast of a Windows machine that I'm on right now. And so then I have the beast, and the beast is Windows, and it is also in the basement. And then I have Predator, and Predator is on the kitchen counter. Yes, I have strategically have uh, I totally spelled Predator wrong. Predator, yeah, with an A. Predator, which is a Windows machine, and it is in the kitchen. Okay, so and so if you just have a regular Claude session and you close your machine, well, now your Claude session's over, and now you have to try to resume it, and you've got to try to reconnect. And Claude a lot of times has long running processes. Like you can see, we haven't touched this thing in well over. We're getting close to 10 minutes since we've touched this thing, right? Probably over 10 minutes, and it's just doing everything on its own. So if you walk away from the machine, the stupid machine will go to sleep. And so how do I fix that? Well, here's what I do. Um, let's see. Oh no, why can I not go sideways? Anyway, so here's what I do. I run almost everything. Like this is my Kali machine, Kali 25. And it is running in a Linux VM, right? Which, I mean, it's kind of dumb for me to say because Kali is Linux, but it's in a VM, like a virtual machine in my Proxmox, stack. Okay, so because of that, that means I'm always like SSHing into this machine anyway. So I'm using SSH to get to this machine, and still though, if even these machines fall asleep, the SSH connection is in a terminal here and it would die. So what you do is you start a TMUX server, and TMUX stands for what? Terminal multiplexer. Um, and so what a TMUX session does is even when you close your session on your machine, it's still running. So the bash session doesn't stop. So because you can see here, see the little green bar here, I'm in TMUX, I can disconnect right now, and this terminal window will just keep right on humming away, no problem. I don't have to worry about a thing, okay? But if but if I want to come back to it, all I have to do is go to a different machine and log in, and just attach. There's a cool command that is tmux attach T and then name of session, and that's how you connect back to it. So that's what I did. I figured out that I could do that, and then I could have these long running Claude Code sessions, and everything would be fine. Everything just runs without a problem, right? So can I do this or will it cover that up? Okay. So I could have this long running Claude Code session and I could just move from one machine to the other and just keep it running as long as I need to keep it running, which is just so awesome. Well, then I figured out, wait a minute. Uh, Claude Code doesn't only likes to run in its own directory, and then it gets angry because it has to run in its own directory. And so I figured out, what if I open a new window and I tell Claude, like, hey Claude, this is your workspace. Claude Code. Whoa, I always do that. Claude Code workspace. And I tell it to send keys. There's a command called send keys that lets it send keyboard strokes directly to a Tmux window. And not only will it send keys directly to the Tmux window like a human, then it can say, hey, capture the output from the window so it can read all the output from the window. And now Claude is basically acting like a human. And it blew my mind away. And I'm so surprised that more people have not picked up on this ability to let Claude literally work at the command line exactly like a person. And because you're using Tmux, the terminal doesn't die. Oh, hey, Potato Ops. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time, buddy. It's so good to see you too. Dude, I'm in the weeds, man. I'm like so far down in this crap right now. Yeah, I worry as I try to explain it to people that they're even going to be able to follow what I'm talking about, because this is I'm down in it, buddy. Anyway, so then I figured out that this Tmux thing is the way to go. And now, as you can see over here, let's go look at it. So this is right now. I don't think anything's fun is open here. So let's open a new window and let's attach back to this machine. Oh, that's not the right. Pardon me. That is not the right IP address. Let me get the right IP address, and I'll show you one of the Tmux windows and like how that works. So let me go over here. Let me get the correct IP address to log into the machine. I should, oh, you know what? I've got it right here. Where'd it go? You, yeah, here we go. We'll grab this copy and we'll go over here and we'll paste it. Oh, I don't want all that junk. Oh my gosh. All right. So what? Oh, SSH. Okay. There we go. All right, now we're in. Make it bigger. Tmux LS. Let's do. Oh man, I didn't close some of these old ones. We're doing board light right now. So see that. See, it actually has created different windows for each port that it's enumerating. So let's do Tmux attach, and we're gonna do this guy. Oh, and of course it's very anticlimactic. Nothing is running over here. So that's funny. It made it, but then it didn't actually do anything with it. So let's go over here and we'll try one more. We'll try the port 22. I don't think it's going to be doing anything interesting on port 22 either, but let's look at it and see. Copy. It's going to do that thing again where I copy this and it's going to be like stupid. Stupid. Lame. Oh, sorry. I'm a girl dad. I have that stuff stuck in my head. Tmux LS. Let's try the port 22, which seems dumb. But otherwise, I'm not sure where it's running. Oh, what the frick? Oh, that's underpass. That's not this. Sometimes I get in here and it already has a it's already got a foothold. Like I'll get in here and it's like, oh yeah, I got a foothold like 20 minutes ago. I don't know where you were at. It just like jumps ahead of me. By the way, that's another thing. I feel like sometimes when I'm working with this, and I know I have like the dangerously skip permissions stuff turned on, sometimes I feel like I'm dealing with like wild horses and I'm trying to hold them back. Yeah, I don't know. Where are you actually doing your work at, Claude? You're supposed to be running this stuff in another window. Maybe it's only running it in another window when it needs to. Maybe it thinks it's smarter than me. At least it launched these simultaneously. I love that. That makes me so happy that it ran these simultaneously. That's good stuff. Um, all right. Well, it is a little after 8 here. I probably need to get going today. Potato Ops, you showing up made it worth it, buddy. It's just great to pop on and have Potato Ops still be out there watching from the shadows. Um, Very excited about this project I have. So I'm going to keep refining it, and we'll keep trying to work through different machines, and I'll let people come along for the ride if they want. Again, I know it's a little advanced, but if people want a little more of a backup, and we can kind of go back to a more simpler setup before I got this deep in the weeds, we can do that. But really surprised that people are not using Claude Code for automated hacking. Um, it's very cool, but I will admit it does take a little thought. And if you don't understand how automation works to begin with, and you don't know how to do like reconnaissance and how to hack to begin with, I could see how it would be very daunting to even figure out how to get this set up and running. But my encouragement would be to enumerate, or not enumerate, iterate. So in other words, just start very simple and just get on with Claude and start having it help you with just the basic enumeration. And over time, just start making your own agents and start breaking things down and start learning more. Um, but you definitely got to learn this stuff, and you can't just say, I don't know. I just know that I'm not letting this stuff pass me by. I was too young for the web 1.0. I was in high school, and oh man, it does this. It kind of freaks out a little bit. We'll move off of this page so you don't get a seizure. Yeah, we'll just kind of do that. But anyway, I was too young for the beginnings of the web, and to I had no there was no I mean it's the new internet, so it wasn't internet like it is now, and I didn't have anybody to help me try to make web pages or do things. And I'm not doing that this time. This time around in the AI uh, cycle, which in my opinion is just as big as the original when the internet hit, and feels like the same kind of Wild West, like when the internet hit and there was blinky marquees and there was GeoCities and new websites popping up every day. I'm not letting this fly by. I'm jumping in with both feet, and we're gonna have a good time. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm gonna pop off here. Leave comments if you need more understanding, things you'd like me to talk about, etc. We'll keep doing these. I've got a couple other projects I'm working on too. I'm back to my old Final Fantasy 1 project. I was able to modify FCEUX to have APIs so I can and that's a Nintendo emulator. So I modified one of the really popular Nintendo emulators with the help of Claude, and I just haven't got back around to continuing to try to automate and have like Claude play Final Fantasy 1. So anyway, fun times, uh, and I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you all later.